I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background growing up and kind of how you got into what you do right now, and also maybe any advice that you have for kids that maybe want to see themselves in a similar position like you are right now too.
Yeah, I think so. For me, just going back to day one, at the time when I get started, it was around when like Call of Duty and some of those gaming channels were starting to pop off on YouTube. But really, no one was doing hockey videos. The only person was like Coach Jeremy How to Hockey, had his hockey tutorials, but no one was doing like hockey gaming videos. So I would just set up a camera, and me and my friends would just film ourselves playing the NHL game, doing ESHL, funny moments, whatever we could come up with. As I got older and kind of shifted away, like I still enjoyed gaming, but more of my focus was on actually playing real hockey and getting out and playing. So I tossed a GoPro on my head and started filming some of that content, just giving people, I gave people behind the scenes what it's like gaming in hockey. I wanted to show what it's like to be a hockey player, outside of NHL broadcast and the fancy production, all that. It's just a kid with the GoPro on his head. So started filming that, and that's really where my channel started to take off and went to a different level. And then I was in college at the time, and out of college, I got a nice job at the Wendy's headquarters. And at that same exact time was when the channel was taking off, and I would go to work every day, and I would just think about content and think about making videos. I'd be on my lunch break with my laptop, like grinding out the edits and everything. And that's when I realized, like, maybe I should just take a step back, go 100% full in on the content thing and kind of see what happens. And the moment I did that, it was a bit of a risky step. Like, am I going to be able to pay rent this month? Am I ready to go? Like, it was not something that was guaranteed, but I really just gave it my all. Started doing 5 videos a week and 1 video every single day. And that luckily all worked out and got me kind of to where I am today.
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring up too, like you working at Wendy's and like grinding on like just editing stuff during your lunch breaks, because so many people see, what you do, what Barb's does, what all these content creators, even like us, we get this a lot too at the shop. Like kids just think this thing happens overnight.
Yep.
And all this stuff comes, and you get invited to these NHL events. You're opening a rink. You're doing this. You're doing so many things. People think that stuff happens overnight, or it happens in the first 6 months, and like that's not it at all. It takes years of really grinding. And I'm sure, like, I wanted to ask you too, like, did you think when you were doing all of that and like working at Wendy's, did you ever think during that time that you'd have all of this on top of everything else you have going on?
No, I mean, there's a tweet that I sent out. It was probably in like 2018, and I said, I have a dream of building an indoor roller hockey rink in Columbus. And I sent that out, like, not even thinking that it would ever truthfully become a reality, because it's one thing when you're just sitting, I'm sitting in my basement, I've got a camera, and that's it. Like, it's kind of easy to manage. It's safe. Nothing can really go wrong. It's another when you have a giant warehouse, and there's so many employees that we have, and we're building, this expensive facility. So no, it's not something I ever expected to actually turn into reality. It was one of those things that I just sent out into the universe, hoping, maybe when I'm 50, I'll be able to make this happen, but especially not as young as I am. Like, it's just crazy that this has become a reality.
For sure, too. And, like, starting so young, too. Like, that's, like, the time to do it, because you have so much time on your hands, too.
Yeah.
Whether you think you do or you don't, like, you do. So I thought, like, that was just such a cool thing. And, like, we get kids all the time that come in the shop, and they want to do different things in the sport, but they don't know what they want to do. Like, there's so many things you could do. You can pick up a camera, make videos, like Strive, unbelievable, like, videographer.
Yeah.
And like, he's, a little bit more behind the scenes with you guys, but like, it's just so cool to see that there's so many opportunities doing this stuff. You can be in front of the camera, behind the camera, doing strategy, like website stuff, anything. People like you are showing people that there's so many opportunities in this to really stay involved in the sport of hockey.
Yeah, I think growing up, it seemed like it was kind of the NHL was the only option. Like, if you wanted to have a career in hockey, you just didn't really think about much else. Obviously, there's coaching and other stuff like that, but now it's, you're in the apparel business, you're, grinding and doing all sorts of different things, and kids have the ability to really be whoever they want to be. Like, you can make your own path. It doesn't have to be just NHL or bust. There's just so many different options that you can enjoy the game and love the game and make a living out of doing it.
And now more than ever too, right? I mean, growing up for us, yeah, it felt like if you weren't going to make it to the league, then what were you going to do? And I think we have a lot of friends that are trying to find their way a little bit too. And I think for all of us, I think it's really relatable. And you talk about how you were at your job and you just kind of had the day where you just decided to go for it. And I think for a lot of us too, I think all of us behind the cameras here, between Chad, Jared, Brandon, Tony, Shrive, all of us, we have that moment of realization where you're like, you know, it's not easy to leave, or it's maybe you're comfortable where you're at right now and you have a steady paycheck or whatever, but to be able to make that jump is, I think, the most freeing decision you can make in your life, to go for it like that. And really ultimately what makes it pay off. And when you have a support system, and us being able to sit down and do stuff like this to support each other's brands, I think it means that much more, especially with the hockey community being so tight too. It just makes it that much easier. So yeah,
we talk a lot we're pretty tight with the What Chaos guys, Pete and DJ and Sean, and we talk to them a lot about just how supportive the hockey community is with one another. All the creators, like, you know, the Chicklets guys are friends with the What Chaos guys, and you know, you got, like, you Barbs and Swags, like, you guys are all together. Chippy, Belts, like, you guys are all doing stuff together, and like that's so unique, because a lot of sports and other niches, like, I feel like you're not really getting that, and there's just such a special bond in hockey that, you know, I know, like, Matt, myself, all the boys, Jared, Brandon, Tony, Chad, Derek, and Benny back home, like, we're all super grateful to kind of be in that and kind of be doing all this stuff together. And when we see each other at events, it's all love. It's no, like, there's no competition, because everybody's doing something different too in this space. Yep. In a way.
Yeah, and it's cool getting to meet those people that you've talked to online for so long, to have that actually be a connection that you make. Like, obviously we've talked forever, and getting to finally meet in person is awesome. And me and Jared back here were playing NHL 12 and NHL 13 together, and then I found out it was with Justician, and now he's here at Heat Wave Arena in Columbus, Ohio. So it's like the connections that you make. Yes, the hockey community is like a big community at large, but I mean, we're all just so close and so tight knit, and there's not a single person in this community that I would be like, I dislike. We're all friends, we're all pals, we're all hanging out outside of the work that we're doing. Like, it really is cool just having such a strong community, and really is a family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Well said.